All right, so we're recording. This is the May 3rd Jupyter Dev meeting. And we have quite a few people. We have 13 people on the call today. Actually, 13. And I guess we can kick off with any, do we have any urgent news? Any big blockers that we need to, anyone needs to share with the group?
So big blocker, not for me, but I would like people to review and agree. I think it was merged already this morning, like the draft on the roadmap to drop Python 2 on the timelines. So now I'm working with Thomas on writing up a statement that we'd like other projects to join and say that they will be dropping Python 2. I've pasted the link in the Hackpad, so you can go there and read, see how it looks like, and contribute if you want. And I would also like to push IPython 5.0 in the next 2 months. There have been a lot of change, so I would appreciate that if we can triage issues and polish everything, that we can start to freeze features and have something which is stable, because it will be the long-term support version. So I think it should be well polished and ready to ship long before we ship it, just not to have to fix crazy bug afterward. And otherwise, I would like some extra review on my shortcut editor and switching to JavaScript 6 for the notebook. That has been ready for a few days now, and I would like to move forward. And that's it.
I think maybe some of us are looking at Gitter. Looks like Thomas says all of the enclosed meeting rooms I know of appear to be in use. Is there a limit on this room? Is Thomas on the call?
He doesn't seem to have joined.
Yeah, he's trying to find a place. Okay.
Okay. Well, I also have some information to share. I've been working on the overall project roadmap that you guys started working on at the dev meeting here at Berkeley, and I pulled all the list of features into. Right now, I'm just working in an Excel spreadsheet or a Google Sheets spreadsheet, just to get it visualized. And once we choose a tool to create really nice looking roadmaps, I'll populate that tool with the information that's in the sheet. So I would like to share that with the group, and then y'all can make comments on where the dates fall. One thing that that Fernando and I discussed was breaking the work into 2-month increments. So put the next into May and June, next +1 into July and August, and then the future kind of just goes into the future. But we would pick up with that 2-month increment, starting with whatever work is in that future category. So we'll just kind of like keep moving, work through those 2-month chunks. So I'll send that link out to the group after this meeting, and please comment on it. Okay.
Thanks.
Sure. Thanks for listening.
Should we go in order of the Hackpad and ask people, because otherwise nobody will take the turn. Jess, are you on the call or not yet?
Yep, I'm here.
Go ahead.
Okay, so I am in the next week trying to get the next version of MBGrader released. It's been really close for a while. I've been working on fixing some issues with Windows, which are fixed, but the tests are still not passing in Jenkins. So it's still figuring that out, but hopefully I'll have that released sometime this week. I've also been gathering responses for the Jupyter Education Survey, which you all have probably seen at this point. We have over 100 responses now, which is awesome. It's going to close on Friday. If you know anyone else who should fill it out who hasn't, please bug them for me. And then when the survey closes, my plan is that I'm going to do a little bit of initial analysis on it myself, and then post the data and the analysis that I have. And then anyone who's interested in it can do further analyses and contribute stuff. And it would be awesome if we could put together something like a dashboard like there was for the UI survey. But I don't know if I will have time to do that in the near future. So if anyone is maybe interested in helping me with that, or knows someone who might be interested in helping me with that, let me know.
All right. Great. Do you want to share with the group our meeting with the Wharton folks from yesterday?
Oh, yeah. So we had a meeting, Matthias, Jamie, and I, with some people from Wharton, which is in Slovenia, and they have this website where they share a bunch of data that they have with business schools all across their country and in the world, and they have something like 40,000 users of this, and they're interested in setting up a Jupyter Hub deployment for their users who they currently just SSH in and work through SSH, or they download the data through the website, but they're hoping to set up a Jupyter Hub deployment to make it easier for all their users to access the data. And so we had a meeting with them yesterday where they just asked us some initial questions about getting that going. But it sounds like it's going to be really awesome to get it.
Hey, Jess.
Yep.
Jess.
Yeah.
You should probably at some point loop in Jacob Kaplan-Moss, because the Django folks do a lot of stuff with Wharton. So something to keep in mind for the future.
Okay. Yeah, they mentioned that they were doing some stuff with Django, that they were hosting DjangoCon this year.
Yeah, he's the major contact at Wharton. He spoke there and gotten donations there a bunch of times. So somebody to keep in mind.
Thanks, Carol.
And I don't have a whole lot to report other than Read the Docs just updated not only their suffix from readthedocs.org to readthedocs.io. All the docs still work because they're redirecting, but they also just released Common Mark 0.6.3. So hopefully that will go smoothly and maybe will help with the rendering of some of the notebooks that are converted. And then if folks want to start taking a look at the installation quick start section of 138, that would be great. I'm looking more for technical accuracy comments than style comments at this point, but I did some pretty heavy editing on the installation and updating. So you might want to take a look at that. Thanks.
Sounds good. Carol, I know you've been working on a new design for the documentation. When will that be viewable to the group?
It's already viewable in that PR, in the link there.
Okay,
and
great.
That's the one that we've been working on with Fernando and Brian. And right now I'm less focused on the design and more focused on the content of all the subsections.
Great. Okay, we lost our camera for the big room, so you just get me. Matthias is trying to figure out how to turn it back on. So who else? I see Peter there. Do you have anything you want to share with the group?
Nothing more than what's written there. A couple of releases. We did actually do our first NPM release of the dashboard server, so that's out there. And the enhancement proposal, which could barely be called an enhancement proposal, is sitting there waiting for comments, not quite clear on how to proceed on that yet, but it did at least encourage us to write down the metadata format for the dashboard extension. So nothing else to report.
Okay. So it's not clear to proceed. What would be the next steps? Is there somebody that can help you?
It really comes down to, people taking a look at it and, the community deciding, does it make sense at this juncture to try to spec out a metadata format for all layout tools, or do we want to have a really lightweight spec, which is what we put in, or does it just not make sense to have a spec and every tool should just document what its own spec is for the time being? Nick and I tried when we were there at Jupyter Day to start the ball rolling, but we quickly ran into, MB Present does slides as its use case and may one day do dashboards and has, needs XYZ for that use case. And dashboards are a very different beast. And Rise is going to be another one, and try to come up with one specification for laying out any possible layout you can imagine for different use cases just eludes me, at least at the moment. How to write that kind of spec feels like trying to reinvent the browser. So I'm not quite sure now is the time to go there. At least it's not my opinion, but I'm interested in what other people think. So mostly right now, just looking for more people to take a look and comment. Right.
How have we made the call for feedback? I know there's a formal process, but have we also put it out on the mailing list? And
it's there. I think Safia wrote a bot that actually posts to the mailing list as soon as the enhancement proposal goes out. So it was on the list week and a half ago. So.
Okay. Great.
Yeah, I'm definitely intending on taking a look at that and commenting on that, Peter. I have a big priority queue that's kind of full at the moment, but you're in there, so.
Sure, thanks. And I kind of figured that's it too. It's not like there's a big rush here. It's just right now, there's nothing to be done on until more people have time to look at it. Yep.
Okay.
Thanks.
Yeah, thanks, Peter. All right, well, how about our continuum folks?
I think Gino was on after me there, and he did have something to bring up.
Okay, great.
Hey guys, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, so hi folks. So besides the release of declarative widgets that's in the hackpad, something that we're just debugging here while on the call, just wanted to bring it up. There seems to be something happening in Jupyter 4.2, and it might be coming from IPyWidgets. So Sylvan, this might be interesting to you. We're seeing on a save of the notebook, the cells are getting re-rendered. The output cells are getting re-rendered, and we see our declarative widgets getting reinstantiated on just pressing the save button, something we didn't see in the past. And I'm sort of debugging it to delete snapshots, and that's why I say IPyWidgets. But we can have a conversation offline on Gitter.
Which version of IPyWidgets are you using? Just
5.10, 5.11, whatever the last one you released. I think it's 5.11. Yeah. Or if anybody knows of why else that might be happening, it's very, very preliminary, but something that we need to investigate further.
Is it the widget snapshot saving that you see?
Yeah, it's when I look at my stack trace consistently, I'm seeing delete snapshots in the stack trace coming in, and then basically causing all our declarative widgets to go through the life cycling of recreating. It's like the DOM gets deleted and regenerated.
Check what I just put in the chat. I'm pretty sure you just hit the nail on the head. The output areas are getting cleared and rehydrated from JSON. So yeah.
Should we drop that in the hackpad as well?
Yeah, I'll do that.
Okay. Anything from the Bloomberg end, or are you guys still looking at this?
On our side, I made a minor bug fix release of IPyWidgets that fixes some issues that were reported by Brian about layout with sliders and some minor other things, but not what the IBM folks are concerned with. So we have 5.1.3 out since yesterday. And I've been working on the Conda Forge recipes for these packages, so the widgets in the extension and IPyWidgets.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'll just add, I've been working a lot with the Continuum guys on the Jupyter lab, and in particular, Steve and I have been hammering through multiple iterations of an architecture for notebook execution, and we have a very rough outline of what we think is one of the best ones we've come up so far, and we'd like to run it by Brian or Matthias or Men or Chris, maybe right after this meeting, or maybe at 1:45 or something like that, or sorry, in like 30 minutes or so.
Yeah, sure.
For rough comments, it's not polished yet. We don't have experience implementing it yet, so I'm sure there might be things that we can find. But if there's anything obvious that jumps out to you guys, we'd love to hear comments.
Yeah, I can do right after this would be good for me.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to hear about it.
Super. Thomas is just listening in, so he'll post his updates on the HackPad. Steve.
He has a stomach bug. I'm out of commission with a stomach bug.
Okay. Sorry to hear that. Grab some Pepto. Min. Anything from the great snowy north?
No, not a lot. I did. There was a rack space issue that brought down temp NB that just had to get restarted this morning, or this afternoon, depending on where you are. But other than that, I'm mostly focused on the Jupyter Hub tutorial this weekend in London, so not much interesting to report.
Okay. One thing that came up yesterday in our discussion with it's a Wharton Data Service, Research Data Service group. Their ultimate goal is to have, 50,000 users on Jupyter Hub. Which is really ambitious. And
yeah, ambitious is one word I would use. Yeah.
Yeah. So we recommended that they start small and do a few pilots and scale gradually. And look to Berkeley for different approaches for scaling out in different ways.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
I gave a talk at the Philly Emerging Tech Conference about a month ago, and I talked to the tech lead of Wharton Data Services, and he was like, this is great. If we would have known about this 2 or 3 years ago, we could have just totally done it with this instead of with whatever proprietary system we're using. How do we get involved? What do we do? So I'm glad that they reached out to you guys and started the conversation.
Yeah, sorry, we forgot to mention that, Jason, you were the inspiration for this. So we met with Ryan Sullivan, who was very energetic and excited.
I'm glad you reached out. Good.
Yeah, this is great. It does put some emphasis for me on the group at Berkeley that's working. There's some students at Berkeley, and UV at Wikimedia is helping work on some kind of scaling testing, performance testing, so that we can have some actual quantification of what, when it's going to fall down, what are reasonable numbers before you start needing to do more exotic deployment choices. And right now we just have no idea. We just know that a couple hundred is fine. But I'm sure if you do a simple deployment that 50,000 concurrent users is too many.
Well, but the point is, I mean, these guys are a nonprofit, but they do have resources. Like people pay them for data, and so.
But I mean,
this might be
in every piece that would fall down, there is a way to deal with that. We just don't have the information for which pieces are going to fall down when, in order to do all those scaling choices. And so I'll try to talk to the Berkeley folks to see if we can push that quantified scaling stuff faster.
Great. So my goal is to follow up with the Wharton folks in about 3 weeks, and maybe just bring you and UV and Matthias and Jess and Fernando into the room. They were going to do a pilot that they were going to use. Ryan was planning to release that pilot on Tuesday. So we'd like to see how that went, and see if how the project's going in a few weeks. So I'll schedule that. Okay, great. Sylvan, I see you dropped a YouTube video in the chat. Did you want to?
It's just a commercial about success and when it's too large too quickly.
Okay.
I'm really sorry. I think I deleted half of the hackpad by accident. As I was typing my report, it was probably selected, and I can't revert. I have no idea what happened. So, yeah.
I was just noticing that, actually. I was like, wait, I don't know where I am in the queue. My name is not.
It's a hooray for version control, right?
It looks like the bottom has become the top. Yeah, there you go. Somebody just.
I don't know whether I'm the culprit actually, but something weird happened here because all of a sudden the title of the hackpad was what I tapped last. So it's probably me.
Basic tech skills. We can do the hard stuff. Okay. But
so note to self.
Information here. Are all the updates still in there? Those of you who typed something in, is it still there?
No, mine's gone.
You retype it. I have to. No other choice.
I'm really sorry. I tried to revert. I don't know how to do this.
I'm taking 2 lessons from this. 1, hooray for version control.
Yeah.
And 2, when we implement collaborative editing, definitely implement undo, like Sage Math Cloud has.
It is everyone hitting undo. Thank you. Okay.
Sylvan, can you hit undo?
Yeah.
Manzi. It's in your local undo.
Well, maybe we should try to sort this out offline. So folks who are good to go here can get back to work and get focused back on what they were doing before our meeting. Matthias, did you have anything else you wanted to add?
No, I think it's fine.
Okay, great. Thanks everyone for joining today. It was a really good group. We'll schedule some of these conversations. I know there was one right after this meeting. So just, check your email, and we'll see you guys next week, if not before.
Bye-bye.
Matthias is waving.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Is he recording?
Yeah, can we stay